Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 7, Episode 5. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Previously on Tyler Perry's Sistas, Pernell has found the passport, honey, and it's looking like Gary might have a little PPP of his own. Then we see Hayden, being who he is, the hater that he has been since he's been introduced, calling Gary to make sure that he can take Andy down. Over at the Empty Bank and Trust, Sabrina is fighting for her life and a position as branch manager against Punky Brewster. And then Zach gonna have the audacity, the gumption, the unmitigated gall to bust up in there and make a scene at Karen's Show Enough Hair Salon grand opening. You know what? Her and Zach might have made a good couple. They love to make a scene. My girls hold me down. Them boys mess around and scene. So when this episode first opens up, Zach's still up in that salon, got Pam mouth wide open, asking for a DNA test. Karen is like, well, you know it's not Aaron's. You show it's not Aaron's. You know, she be talking like she gone with the wind, fabulous. Oh, honey. So Karen said, you know it's not Aaron's. He's like, yeah, but I want the truth. We want the truth. You didn't get my DNA. Karen is like, we? Oh, I knew it. This got Fatima written all over it. No, ma'am. It has Daniela written all over it. Karen thinks he's calling her a sluck. Okay. Now I know the real word, but I can't say it over here on the YouTube, so it's going to be a sluck today. Karen thinks he's calling her a sluck, as my sister used to say when she was smaller. And he's like, no, I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying. He said, you know, I heard how you got down in college. So now Karen is pissed. And like I said, she's blaming Fatima. No, you don't need to blame Fatima. See, your mommy brain is not thinking. When he said, I heard how you got down in college, how would Fatima know about how you got down in college? It had to be one of your sisters in the sister circle. So after Karen got done with him, she said, you know what? I don't even want you to be a part of my child's life. Zach is like, nah. I want to be there. Okay. I just want to make sure that this baby is mine before I start handing over my shmoney. In steps the delivery driver, making sure that she's okay. This your child's father? This your baby daddy? Everything good? Zach gonna look at him and say, oh, this your new man? Karen, you must be his only stop because, baby, he stay down to that shop. Is anybody getting packages? I don't think so. And Zach, why are you worried about him being her new boo? Why do you care? I'm starting to notice the pattern with you. You don't want no man around Karen, including yourself. Moving forward. In the next scene, Maurice is down at the bar and one of his men's show up from that site that he be on. And child, the man looking all lost and whatnot. Maurice looking at him from across the room. So now they're flirting. He wants to get to know Maurice. He want to take him on a date, wine and dine him, see what I was doing. But Maurice, when are you going to get another job? Baby, that site must be really paying good because Calvin took his half of the rent and ran off with that Caucasian woman. Baby, Calvin is gone with that white woman. So where are you getting this money from? I just really would like to know. So the man is telling Maurice that he's been in Atlanta for 8 months and his last relationship ended when his partner got cancer and passed away and he took care of him to the bitter end. Well, baby, what he say that for? Maurice is like, oh, you took care of him? Are you sure? Yeah, he's sure, child. In the next scene, Lisa rolls up on Zach because she told him, do not be up here with that. I told you don't come up here asking about no DNA test. And Lisa, you were right. I told y'all this was still grand opening day because some people were down in the comments like, no, this is another day. No, it's not. This is Tyler Perry land. They're still wearing the exact same clothing. But it's strange because Andy is not wearing the same clothes. She's the only one I think that's not wearing the same. But it's just all confusion, honey. This is a fever dream. So just keep up with me. Pam is telling Karen, you need to let Zach be in that baby's life. Now she's telling Karen that not for the sake of the baby having a father, but for the sake of a check. And I was like, that's so disgusting. How stereotypical. Why would you even write for Karen to only want to deal with Zach for his shmoney? That is just so stereotypical. I couldn't stand that. I was like, Karen, Please, Pam, back up. Always talking about Zach. Pam loved her like a man that Karen already liked. She liked Aaron, and she ain't fooling me. And I think she had a crush on Zach as well. So then all of a sudden, Danny pops up. Girl, are you drunk? Popped up trying to give a toast. I was like, this is so awkward. It was one of those scenes where, have y'all ever seen those movies where somebody just pops up in the middle of a crowd and then all of a sudden someone gets shot? That's what that was giving me. But it was just Danny trying to save her behind and stop Zach before he went over there and asked Karen for a DNA test when she knows that she's wrong. You should not have said all that about that girl. I don't care how y'all try to spin it. Well, she wasn't a good friend and she was always with the attitude. Me having an attitude with you? Okay. Everybody has their own personality within the sister circle. Andy is the ditz. She don't know her head from a hole in the wall. Sabrina is the one that's like, woo, 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 woo. She's the Sinclair of them living single. Then you have Danny, the truth teller. She gonna tell you exactly what you want to hear, straight, no chaser. Even if you want to hear, even if you don't want to hear, she's still gonna tell you. And then you have Karen. Karen would be the Maxine Shaw attorney at law. Always got an attitude, but her and Andy are cool. There are friendships within the sister circle. When you have friends and it's a group of 3 or more, there will always be 2 of them who seem a bit closer than the other 2 seem. And as the numbers grow, that's just what happens. But that didn't warrant her sitting in front of Zach telling him that Karen was a pro. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it, honey. I just don't rock like that. Moving forward. So, child, Danny is speaking her speech with her guilty conscience. Karen takes over and gives a speech of her own. And she's like, all right, y'all, continue to enjoy the festivities and the grand opening. Over on the other side, Fatima gets home and Zach is telling her what went down with Karen. So she's like, what? Did she put her hands on you? Zach was like, no, she would never do that. He tells Fatima that Karen felt like he was calling her a sluck. And Fatima said, well, I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it, honey. If the Giuseppe fits, wear it. She's telling him that Karen isn't getting a dime until she proves that this is Zach's baby. Pause. Zach should definitely get a DNA test because we're forgetting about the third man because Tyler likes to play in our face and act like we don't remember. He does need a DNA test. But the thing that I'm starting to see here is that everybody is just worried and concerned about Zach's money. Nobody is concerned about that baby in Karen's stomach. Y'all don't want this DNA test to prove that this is actually Zachariah's kid. Y'all just want to make sure that Karen does not infringe upon that check. And y'all ain't fooling me. So now they start talking about Michael. Fatima has been looking up schools and stuff for him because, you know, that's what she does. She's the savior of it all, of Zach at all times. In the next scene, Andy is down at the Ratchet Law office and Jordan calls to talk to Andy because he wants to take her to dinner. So Fatima comes in and she's telling Andy, you know, it's really good to see you smile. I'm so happy that you happy with Jordan. I mean, it's not giving. He trying though, but it's just really not giving for me. So then Fatima is asking Andy, do you think you could talk to Karen for me? Andy said, absolutely not. Girl, I got too much going on. I got to worry about what's going on with Michael, trying to win that case. And Zach already went up there and caused the scene. Fatima said he did not cause a scene. Tima, you weren't there. It was definitely giving scene. Okay, they might have been over in the corner, but the 2 of them like to cause a scene. And they did. So Andy is telling her, I feel like that was the wrong place and the wrong time. And it definitely was. But Karen has been known to pop up at the wrong place at the wrong time, a time or two herself. Like the time she came down to the Ratchet Law office ready to fight and confront Fatima at her damn job. Or like the time she came down there and was hallucinating like she shot Fatima when she was giving them false results that had absolutely nothing on that paper. Karen likes to pop up too. So I'm not going to put it all on Zach. Because, you know, his adrenaline was pumping and then Danny had filled him full of this stuff. So he just went down there to get into it. I mean, they both have done it. I'm just saying. But it was the wrong place and the wrong time. And she is pregnant. So Fatima told Andy, girl, I just want to know. We just need to know. Andy tells her, listen, Zach needs to be careful, especially trying to get custody. So Fatima wants Andy to talk to Karen and she's like, no, I'm not doing that. Andy politely declined because, girl, no. I'm concerned with my own partner. Moving forward. In the next scene, Gary is at the office losing his marbles behind Jordan. Why the feds ain't locked him up yet? He just roaming free. They have gone through everybody else and now they've magically disappeared. Tyler, every time you do something big, you just poof, blow him up into a puff of smoke and we never hear about it again. I.e. Jasmine shooting Gary with them rubber bullets. She should have took him out, but she didn't. We've never heard from her again. She was supposed to be suing all the sisters in the sister circle. That lawsuit mysteriously disappeared. The feds have already been on top of Andy several times before. We didn't hear anything about that. Now they're back and they're gone. Okay. He's there losing his marbles. Nothing to see here. He's always plotting and planning and scheming. I have never seen anything like it. Over on the other side, Danny finally goes to therapy. So she's asking the therapist, that is, about Danny's dating history. So she starts telling her about Preston. And then during a break, she met Jonah, who put his hands on her. So she ran him over. And he's still alive and living to tell the story. So then Danny starts getting emotional because she could not see that Jonah was that type of dude beforehand. You were trying to get over Preston. You saw him. He was seemingly nice. You invited him to your address. You didn't get to know him. And so then things happen. That's not your fault that he's a scumbag, but don't get these men your address, honey. This is in real life. So for anybody that's listening, don't be giving these men y'all address. Absolutely not. So the therapist asked if she had any other abusive relationships. So she tells her about her college sweetheart. He was a star athlete. He was always putting her down, talking about her clothes, just making her feel less than. So he pulled her in the locker room one day and assaulted her and started calling her out her name. And Danny is like crying, sitting in front of this therapist. And I felt like she really needed that release. This therapy is really going to be good for her character development. I'm praying that we see Daniela take a turn, not from her being her honest self, because I don't want her to veer too far from who she is, but I also want to see her evolve. I want to see her do better. In the next scene, Sabrina goes to see Rich. I don't know why Sabrina be acting like an old auntie in these scenes. I don't know. It's like when she gets in a relationship, her mannerisms and the clothes she wears, she just seems so much older. Girl, if you don't loosen up, get your zhuzh together. So Rich is telling her all the plans that he has for the business, right? So this lady walks in with a baby, reminding Sabrina of what she won't have if she stays with Rich. So she's kind of looking over her shoulder and it's making her feel away. She said, well, I got some plans of my own. He said, oh, really? What's going on? She said, I'm freezing my eggs. He said, oh, okay. That's good. Do that. She said, you're okay with that? He said, yeah, freeze them. Because, if we don't work out, then you can have your baby. Sabrina, how many different ways can he tell you that he isn't the one, the two, or the three? The way that he scurried off as soon as she mentioned kids, that was telling. He already done told you. And really, Sabrina, you cannot blame him because he told you that he didn't want to have kids and you are choosing to waste your time. You are choosing this. Okay, so, you really cannot be upset. So when he walks away, she leaves. So it's the next day. Miss Lisa is stopping by the shop to check on Karen, basically to bring Karen a little change. Pam, you influencing in this shop is so inauthentic. It just came out of nowhere. I don't know. It just doesn't flow with what Pam represents on Sistas. Like all of a sudden you're an influencer. Like what is happening? Miss Lisa came to bring Karen a check and she's asking, how are things going? Like, how are things going to work? And Karen was like, no, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And Miss Lisa told her, look, I want you to take the test so you don't have to worry about all of this. Just prove that it's Zach's baby and you're going to be set. Now, I have to say that it does need to be proven, but not just for child support. And I wish y'all would stop creating that narrative. Please stop saying that to her. So Trey comes in to deliver something because y'all know he don't do no work. All of our packages are missing. That's because Trey down to Karen's Show Enough hair salon. He's talking to Karen about the whole Zach thing. He's like, so that's your baby dad? She was like, unfortunately. Girl, according to the streets and Daniela, we don't know who your baby daddy is. That's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So he's asking Karen to have lunch with him. She said, you know what? I haven't eaten yet, so yeah, sure. They are really about to thrust Karen's pregnant belly into another relationship. Allow her to heal. Why we gotta go from relationship to relationship? Let her heal. Baby, back at Gary's office, Pernell stops by. She's snooping and whatnot because he's not in the office. He walks in, don't even say hello. Instead, he says, "What the hell are you doing?" Sir, what? He can't stand Penelope. He cannot stand her. And Penelope, you don't know how to sneak good. Girl, he said, "Why are you going through my drawer?" She gonna say, "I was just looking for utensils because the place didn't give me any." Now that's what you came up with? You looking for a spork? That's what you came up with? The way that he be talking to her, I know after Pantygate, she called the feds on him. I know she's the one who did it. Y'all cannot convince me otherwise. I just know that it's Pernell that called them people on him. So he sends her away because she gets on his nerves. And Gary is telling his partner in crime that he may need to take a little hit of the Coca-Cola later. Ooh, naughty on that stuff. His attitude does give that he on something though. Moving forward. Gary's character is straight garbage juice. It has really taken a turn. A complete nosedive. Back at Danny's job, she's at Tony's office. So he's asking her how the session went. She's really aloof. She's like, "It's fine. Everything went good." She's acting sort of standoffish, giving one-word answers, walking all sideways. She says she just came to tell him that she didn't want to go get anything to eat. Ma'am, you could have texted him that. Danny has a very avoidant attachment style. It's like she just doesn't want to be bothered ever. At Andy's office, Fatima is telling Andy that Jordan's opponents have some dirt coming out. Yeah, courtesy of Gary. He gonna make sure of that. So she's telling Andy, "Listen, you better hope that Jordan is clean, because once one person's stuff comes out, everybody's stuff comes out." So Hayden is hovering around being all weird because you know he's trying to get the 411. Shout out to Mary J. He's trying to get in the business. And back at the Empty Bank and Trust, Sabrina is at the bank and that annoying Karen co-worker of hers is getting in her business yet again. You know how they always say we will never be alone or lonely because there is always somebody in our business? That would be this co-worker trying to find something to mess with Sabrina about that involves her work. Ma'am, she does not need you to micromanage her. She's been at the Empty Bank and Trust longer than we've known you. She can't even read numbers because Sabrina was like, "No, I actually did do it. Here it is right here." I hope she not the manager, child. Everybody accounts being a negative. After Sabrina checks her, Maurice calls Sabrina. And just like I knew he would, he was on that phone. He said, "Baby, you better be glad I don't work there, because I would have gotten her together." And I know he would have. So they make a plan to meet up later. Sabrina's birthday is coming up. The girls are throwing something. And Maurice wants to give her some good news. Probably about that new bull he is. In the next scene, Hayden calls Gary to tell on Andy, because that's what he likes to do each and every episode. "Hayden, do you ever have a case?" And Gary's attitude is just like somebody on DRUGS. Always mad and angry. Like, it's crazy. And yes, I had to spell it because I can't say it. Y'all know how the sponsors are on YouTube. So Andy is leaving for the night, right? And Fatima is trying to warn her to be careful with Jordan. Everybody's so sneaky on this show. Everybody is so sneaky. The only person on this cast that I trust is Sabrina. She's the only one that ain't got no sneaky stuff going on. It's always a secret or a whisper or watch this and don't do that. Moving forward. Back at the office, Tony is still there. Danny comes in to talk to him. She's telling him about what went on in therapy and some things that triggered her. She's like, "I'm not quite ready to talk about it, but the session was good." That half a session really helped Danny. Okay. He kept trying to come over and she was like, no. I don't really want you to come over. Now, for me, I felt like her not wanting to fill her night with company to forget about that session was a good thing. But Tony was asking her not to shut him out and she started feeling bad. And she said that the therapist told her she does use that as a defense mechanism, but she'll try not to do it. And then she's like, "You know what? You can come over." No, Danny, sit with your thoughts. Sometimes you have to be still by yourself. You don't always need somebody right there in your space. Now, if she needs comfort, that's different. But she told him several times, "No, I just want to be alone." And see, that was the problem that she had with Preston. She would tell Preston no, and he would show up at her door. She told that man no, and he showed up at her door. She told Tony, I'm not hungry. I want to go home by myself. He's like, don't shut me out. And then she turns around and says, you know what? You can come. Now, I know this is the first session, so I'm going to give Danny some grace. But Danny, it's okay to sit. Back at Zatima's house, Zach is working on things for Michael. He's saying, he wants both his kids in his life. Fatima is like, we don't know if both of them yours yet. Zach was like, why you got to do that? I'm already under stress. Why do you even have to bring that up? So Fatima was like, you know what? I'm going to cook you something to eat. I'm gone. Moving forward. In the next scene, Jordan and Andy are going to dinner. So they're at dinner, sitting there being all awkward. She brings up his opponent's scandal. So he tells her, listen, I haven't done anything that I would be ashamed of. So I'm good. These two on this date is so awkward to me. Like, I don't know. It doesn't give. So they're leaving the restaurant, right? And Gary is Coca-Cola'd out, spying in the parking lot from his car, looking real creepy. Always Coca-Cola. And I got to throw him off my scent. He grabs the 9 as they're getting in the car, aiming it as they driving off. I said, oh, baby, Gary got to go. These things got him losing his damn mind. And he is obsessed with Andy. It's not cute. It's not anything we can write and turn the direction. And y'all know what I'm about to bring up. And if you don't, I'm finna tell you. Y'all know what I always think about. When he came to that damn apartment and tried to crush her ribs, she should have left him and never talked to him again after that day. But she continued on and put on that dang on forever ring that was locked on her finger. And everybody want to talk about Karen. Karen was a great friend to Andy in that moment because she was the only one keeping it real. Girl, don't you keep that ring? And don't you keep that man. Child, this is a fool. And that was the end of the episode. The episodes are giving a school play. I'm going to need y'all to zhuzh it up. Okay, I'm going to need some real acting, some real emotion. Make things believable. Like when Sabrina went down to the juice bar. Take that to the back to his office. Not standing at a random table and then a woman walks in with the baby. It gave nothing. Maurice was in the nightclub and he saw the man from across the room. Let him be getting jiggy with it. And then the man come over there and walk up to him and say something to him. It gave nothing. Andy and this Jordan don't even get me started. Tony is just inappropriate because I didn't review the episode where he went behind the counter and got down and got his eagle on up under Danny's skirt. That was so disgusting. Sir, cameras are everywhere. Tell me, I just wanted to taste. It's giving a school play. And scene. It's giving a school play. But y'all know I'm going to have tickets to the play and I'm going to watch it again next week. Y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.